Laramie Jubilee Days 2025 Kids Horse Show rules and regulations are available at Martindale's Western Store on Grand Avenue in historic downtown Laramie. Laramie Jubilee Days been involved with that event, but man, so proud of the Shirley Lilly Kids Horse Show, and that special event is Saturday, July 5th, 2025 at the Albany County Fairgrounds. Classes will start promptly 9 a.m. These events are for local youngsters and out-of-towners staying with relatives may also enter. This is not a tip-tight, regimented horse show. All contestants will be required to have a signed release form from a parent or guardian. Youngsters will not be allowed to participate without that release, but entries must be received by June 27th, and there is no entry fee. However, there will be no late entries. And as I said, I don't know where this group's gone, but this application form is absent Shirley Lilly's credit. And let me tell you, I absolutely treasured Shirley Lilly. For all my time in Laramie, Wyoming, and on the Laramie Jubilee Days board, I absolutely treasured Shirley Lilly. And I got to tell you that for as amazing as this event is, Shirley Lilly absolutely deserves the credit of her name on that event. And I don't know where it's gone, but Shirley Lilly, you're never far from my heart. Loved you. Love you now. And I look forward to seeing you someday ahead. Take care. This is the Talk Shop in Studio 255. If you have group news or information that you would like to share, by all means, do so. Share us. The University of Wyoming Co-Library shared Custer, Myth and Reality, and the Custer Street Project's event series, History on Every Corner, presents Custer, Myth and Reality, featuring keynote speaker Dr. Jeffrey Means. He's an Ogallala Sioux Associate Professor of History and Native American Indigenous Studies, Chair of the University of Wyoming History Department. Dr. Means will examine General Custer's military actions through the lens of Indigenous history and perspective. This is a University of Wyoming Department of History event, Thursday, May 29th, 2025. Encourage you from the Talk Shop to attend the University of Wyoming's Co-Library, room 506, from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. You can join online. You just have to contact Sarah Bursack at gmail.com. That's Sarah, S-A-R-A, Bursa, B-U-R-S-A-C, Bursack, at gmail.com for the link. And you can also follow on Facebook the event. We'll have that link on the Talk Shop. We appreciate University of Wyoming Co-Library sharing that information with us at the Talk Shop. And our local Al-Anon group, are you struggling with alcohol? Do you feel like you're drinking too much? Do you want a different way to live? What they offer? Unity, service, recovery. It's Alcoholics Anonymous, one day at a time. Their meetings weekdays, noon to 1, 7 to 8 p.m., and then Saturdays 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then Sundays 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and that is on second floor in the Laramie Plains Civic Center, room 278 at 710 East Garfield. And if you'd like those times again, visit the Talk Shop on Facebook. We've posted that notice up there as well. Appreciate that group sliding that information under the door at Studio 255, making it possible to get more news and information to all of you here in the public. Did you catch Joseph Kibler? Joseph Kibler, candidate for Wyoming governor in 2006 race, running on faith, family, freedom, and future, did a live podcast last night answering more than 20 thoughtful questions from the community and citizens surrounding the state of Wyoming. You might like to catch that. We're going to be visiting with him again on the Candidate Awareness Tour 2026. That opportunity available online with interviews, social media, making things a little bit of hopscotch. We're working on archiving interviews so that they can be watched forever forward. But Facebook in particular will delete live posts after 30 days. So we are archiving those and doing our best to make the Talk Shop interviews and material available for you long term, much longer than that. We took pride that Candidate Awareness Tour interviews and things dating back 7-8 years were all available for view. One of the things that it does is it lets people know, prospective guests and past guests. It lets everybody be a part of the conversation and tune in if you missed a conversation. One of those things that we like to do for you from here at the Talk Shop. One of the things we did last night was we captured about 2 hours, maybe two to 2.5 hours of live stream video from Laramie High School. The Laramie High School auditorium, the site from 6 to 7:30 was the designed Albany County Legislative Representative Town Hall, and I'm proud to say it went longer. So many good questions to be asked and that were asked and to be answered, and 5 of 6 of your elected representatives showed up. Now that alone was spectacular from my perspective, because the Talk Shop, though we have extended invitations to each and every candidate for public office and each and every candidate and elected official in office, we don't always get even a response. Well, last night, 5 of 6 showed up. Gary Crum, Senator, Chris Rothfuss, your Senator, Ken Chestick, your House of Representatives representative, I believe District 13, and Carly Provenza, your House District 45 representative, along with Trey Sherwood, House District 14, I believe, representative. They were all in attendance. Absent, Ocean Andrew. Andrew, unable to make it, chose not to make it. Don't know why, but I would make this extended invitation. Each and every one of you, should you like to expand on your topics, any one of them. Y'all brought up some great considerations. I think the community needs to know more. One of the criticisms that I heard through the last legislative session was not enough media coverage. Well, media coverage takes participation, folks. It can take 2, it can take 3, it can take 200 perspectives. It can take 23 counties' perspectives. And at the Talk Shop, we invite each and every one of those. Look, folks, there's 168 hours in a week, 52 weeks in a year. What did you do yesterday? Did you occupy each and every minute? Did you do your best with them? I certainly have room to improve. And when I think about it, extending the invitation to talk, to listen, and to learn, it's absolute thrill from my perspective. I'd love to do it with you, your group, your organization. I extended about 7 invitations last night at the Laramie High School event. The Laramie Reporter, that media entity, founded by and operated by writer and editor, owner Jeff Victor. Jeff Victor credited with moderating that. I understand that it was his event, and He moderated it, did a nice event, and a good information brought forward. Now, when you have five of six elected representatives in the same venue, and the topics of education, judicial areas, medical, health, public lands, housing, so many important topics that come up. You never have enough time to cover all of the aspects and perspectives. And guns in schools, concealed carry, these topics are all important to people. But one of the opportunities was to hear Senator Crum in his perspective. You can tell what they're passionate about. They each had an opening opportunity. You can catch the entirety as it's archived on the Talk Shop social media page just from yesterday. Scroll through. It's pinned. It's a pinned post to the top of the page, and it's also available on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Now, those formats not as widely used as our central one on Facebook, but the Talk Shop endeavors on to make these opportunities available to the widest audience possible. And I was most pleased, along with Senator Crum, Senator Rothfuss. Now, he sits on Judiciary Committee. Not Judiciary, excuse me. Look at my notes. Recalibration, and though some of these things, they're brought up, they're not entirely familiar, perhaps. But they don't get any more familiar if you don't stay tuned. Tune in. Do a little digging. Do a little question asking. It was a nice evening and a good opportunity. But Crum talked about being involved with judiciary, labor and health, as well as water and capital finance, as water was probably his number one area mentioned last night. He spoke in later opportunities about guns and perspectives on that, and healthcare and in rural areas, and those are all important issues, each and every one of them powerfully important to perhaps each one of us. But following him, Chris Rothfuss, Senator Chris Rothfuss, talked about education. Man, so passionate. 15 years of involvement in representing Albany County, and I gotta say, we got a great taste of what each and every one of them were powerfully motivated by. Ken Chestic spoke about water. His number one interest, he stated, was the Colorado River Compact that's coming up on a transition point, and a lot of things hinge on water in the state of Wyoming and upholding our water rights. Look, everyone upstream, downstream, they all have an interest in shared water. And who owns the rights? Well, another issue for Ken Chestic, judicial matters, attacks and courts, all the matters going on. You can see his direct comments, as I said, on the video, but there was question from Devin O'Connell, an attorney in Laramie, Wyoming, and you'll want to see her response to his answer and his answer to her question, as well as think of your own, and don't hesitate to reach out to your representatives. Along with Ken Chestic, Rothfuss, and Crum, Carly Provenza, House District 45 representative, talked about travel, wildlife, and recreation work that she's been involved with, public lands, and really strong on maintaining our access to public lands. Corner crossings, one of the topics that she spoke about. Medical debt. How about transparency in medical billing. That topic came up last night. Housing, jobs. One of the things that was interesting, she brought up the perspective of medical debt and how it can affect housing opportunities for you. How can you do a background check on jobs for jobs or housing applications with medical debt? Medical debt can consume us all. But wherever you stand on that, these are the issues they spoke about. And I have to say, proudly, there were not one of them that showed up failed to stick around a bit for a few more questions. So important, I think, that access. We like to make that access available on the Talk Shop to each and every one of our elected officials. We'll continue to do so. We're dedicated to that. Had an opportunity individually to visit with Trey Sherwood. She's on Appropriations Committee, and as such, some of the areas that she deals with, there's a taste of many areas of considerations throughout the state of Wyoming's operations, and management audits and capital expenditures, Civic Lab. There was Civic Lab, the K through 12 initiative was really cool, and to hear her in the live recording, you'll get that individual passion from Trey, what she's excited about. She talked about geeking out on history and geeking out on the history. I'll tell you proudly that I created Main Street Mondays on Hits 106 with Sean Faxon at Wolf Creek Radio Broadcasting many years ago, and Main Street Mondays was born out of what I observed Trey Sherwood's work on the History Channel with Wyoming Territorial State Prison Site, and that right here on Snowy Range in Laramie, Wyoming was it was a children's dig, an archaeological event, and the History Channel captured that, and I couldn't have been more elated with Trey's work on that. I will always remember that, and I reminded her that she's invited, though not having ever accepted in almost 10 years the opportunity to join us here on the Talk Shop with your questions to get answered, your opportunity to get to know Trey Sherwood on the Talk Shop here at 93.5. But hey, everybody's got their choices, and although no statement ever made why that hadn't happened, I do believe the invitation continuing to get extended eventually will be accepted. And hopefully, as I mentioned, look, the Talk Shop's 15 to 20 hours a week. There's 168 hours in every week. And as such, there's a lot of programmatic opportunity right here in Laramie. 93.5 is an incredible asset, folks. And if you would like to have a show, if you would like to have a program, if you're dedicated to it, you put together a plan, the KOCA Board of Directors, they'll consider every plan. And you might just find yourself with a programmatic opportunity on KOCA. And gosh, I'm really ecstatic to be able to bring the Talk Shop to you 15, 20 or more hours each week. And it's grown. We've got more than 55,000 views per week average on social media in December. November we had, I think, over 52,000 per week. Now those metrics, they went up from 3 and 5 and 7,000 per week 7 years ago. So I couldn't be more excited, and thank you. Extend a big, huge thank you, resounding thank you to supporters, sponsors, underwriters, and you for listening, our audience, making it all possible. And thank you for the shares. When you interact and engage, everything gets better. The content of this show improves. The value of talk, the value of listening, the value of learning, it all elevates. And I appreciated the opportunity to talk with Trey Sherwood last night about housing. Why do we have state institution with 6 residence halls existing since the 1960s? They were all built primarily from HUD money, Housing and Urban Development Funds, in the 1960s. Now, those initiatives made powerfully strong and historic structures. Whitehall, Downey Hall, McIntyre Hall, Orr Hall, Hill Hall, and Crane Hall, all 6 residence halls have served thousands upon thousands of students and faculty and visitors and guests, summer conferences, student higher education projects, summer orientations, team camps. These are year-round operations that are available in the University of Wyoming Housing and Residence Life Department. I was part of that. Chris Rothfuss, part of that. Senator Rothfuss has history and background in residence life. Maybe others do. Maybe you stayed in one of the residence halls. Maybe you visited and you have children who attended and stayed in those areas. But each, I think maybe the Downey Hall average room measures 14 by 16 feet. Not a lot of space. But you don't need a lot of space necessarily to attend school and have a strong roof over your head, have all of the basics, social, educational, recreational, cultural programming, health and wellness wheels, freshman interest groups. When you get involved in college and residence life, your experience explodes. Take it from me. There's opportunities in so many aspects of life. There are over 200 registered student groups and organizations at the University of Wyoming. At Laramie County Community College, I'm sure there are equally powerful groups that are present. But at the Laramie Community College, they don't have an Albany campus housing area. Now, as North and South Halls get looked to on 15th Street, they're occupying the footprint. Powerfully, present buildings on 15th Street. Have not been inside of those, but looking for the opportunity to tour those before they open and following the open of those at the University of Wyoming. But as you view the outside, these are University of Wyoming is going to be proud for these and I think the state of Wyoming will be as well. But what happens to Downey Hall when North and South opens? Well, I understand that Downey Hall will be one of the first to be closed. Now, without conversation, what will happen to Downey Hall? What will the utilization be? Hill and Crane Halls, not having been demolished, they were repurposed into some Residence Life moved their offices in there while Waschke Center was being remodeled and some construction going on. And during different processes, different departments may find themselves relocated. Maybe teaching and education professors and such will find them in Hill Hall or Crane Hall. Maybe that's what's ahead for Downey Hall. But it's concerning to me that a request for conversations to be had, there's no public involvement with this conversation. That's a big no-no for me. I want public involvement. I want people to get ideas are powerful. If we brainstorm many things can be utilized in other ways, and they don't have to be left vacant and perhaps vandalized or deteriorate in any fashion because they're actively used. Downey Hall was built to serve over 300 individual students, and I think the number was like 364 students were what that was designated. Well, I know that on each floor there are 7 residence life floors of the 8 floors in Downey Hall. And Junetta Downey Hall, built in the 1960s, is scheduled, as I understand from Downey Hall staff, to be closed as North and South open. Well, what does that do? Well, to me, the immediate possibility is, how could we utilize this? How could we not close it and flourish in Laramie, Wyoming? Flourish in the state of Wyoming? Well, housing is in short supply. Well, if you look at the 12-story McIntyre and White Halls, and you look at Downey Hall and Orr Hall, 8-story facilities, these still have life ahead. And I'd like to see them breathe with new vigor. Perhaps WyoTech might find some housing options that are available. When I directed housing at the Wyoming Technical Institute, we had 24 buildings that we operated, 11 separate areas of Laramie, Wyoming. Now, that was spread out all over throughout the community. And with my residence life staff, I served to manage vocational housing, where in some cases we had 4 people to a McHugh Street housing space. And these were 16 by 16 spaces. And you might know these buildings. They were McHugh Street is still there, and they're the log exterior looking face of the McHugh Street housing, and that was contracted services by Wyoming Technical Institute at the time that I was there. And at one juncture, we moved from North Campus to the McHugh Street area, and our housing offices were in a mobile unit there on property there. But four youngsters. Now, we had day school and night school in operation. Wyoming Technical Institute was going gangbusters, and there were thousands of students at that time. And it's no less of an impressive institution today, regardless of the full-time enrolled student numbers. But at that time, what I'm getting to is, we had 4 students in. There were bunks. We had a twin bed, essentially, bunked on 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and it was bedrolls. It was an efficiency, maybe a microwave, a fridge, and bath and shower, and shared space. But 2 were on night rotation, 2 were on day rotation in studies and in vocational programs. And all I'm saying is, Downey Hall undoubtedly would have been an amazing opportunity to consolidate similar interests together in one space, with utilization of conference space, additional training and breakout study, and perhaps flexibilities that we didn't have back then. I see that as an outstanding opportunity. And to not have the conversation, I got a letter from Sharon Cumby, and Sharon, mayor of City of Laramie. I absolutely appreciated your response. But the University of Wyoming will listen. It's their obligation to listen. And as citizens and as elected representatives, I expect that we'll have those conversations. We will try and never stop trying. The endeavor to always do better can be relentless. In our pursuit of that needs to be done with vigor and I think proactively. Downey Hall hasn't closed yet. Maybe it doesn't have to. Maybe we look at a planned transition. Maybe Albany County Laramie Community College campus can utilize space in Downey Hall. Perhaps WyoTech might find value in that space. President Jim Mathis, previously on the board of directors, board of trustees for the University of Wyoming. We've seen collaborations and partnerships at various times between institutions. Why not now? Why not today? Let's talk. Let's listen. Let's learn what opportunities might exist, and review that Albany County Legislative Representative Town Hall. I think you'll find it rewarding. Definitely a good use of your time. About 2 hours in length. You can enjoy it all at your pace on the Talk Shop social media pages, Facebook, X, Rumble, and YouTube. That's the Talk Shop USA for you.